Hello, lovelies. We have just finished the 7-day book challenge, and I handwrote all of it in this notebook and then transferred all of it to much neater writing in this notebook. So, let's talk about how we did. I was inspired to do the 7-day book challenge while challenged by my dear friend, Esty Hedges, Skye. We started doing this, oh goodness, a couple years ago, with Carol Brown and a few others. There was this thing called the 7-day book challenge going around, and we've ended up doing it like once or twice a year for the last couple of years. I have done several shorts and everything, and this year I actually rolled it into working on The Moon is Waxing, which is a K-drama style police procedural kind of thing that I started working on after watching My Life Again, which is a K-drama about a prosecutor who is tracking down a bunch of corruption. He gets killed. He comes back to his college days. It's a reborn thing. And I didn't really write that, but I liked the idea of incorporating bones and castle, that kind of a feel, with a K-drama. So that's what I started working on is The Moon is Waxing. And I picked up several drama tropes from watching short drama videos, listening to short drama video stories on YouTube. There are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these channels. Some of them are actually written stories, like little meow tweets. The most of them though seem to be AI written and AI translated stories. And as you move through the different drama story platforms, they all run like 35, 40 minutes to an hour and something in length. Um, some of them are very obviously not just AI translated, but AI written. And but there's a lot of interesting things you can glean from them. Things like colloquialisms, which are different from ones that we know here in the West, like late blooming affection or late affection is worth less than grass. And somebody having pear blossom eyes or peach blossom eyes, and the tears running from their eyes being equated to um, rain falling on pear or peach blossoms. Another thing is, do people smile with crescent eyes? Um, and so there, and green tea girls, that's another thing, is those green tea bitches. So yeah, it's um like first loves are referred to sometimes. Sometimes they're like their white moonlight or their white lotus, and just different ways of referring to things. So I immersed myself in this. I took a whole bunch of notes. I did a bunch of story building for 5 different parts, and for the 7-day book challenge I wrote the first part of the story of Luna, who is my CSI, and her stepsister Soleil. Their backstory is they were girls growing up together. Luna's mother is a former soldier turned bodyguard. Her father was a police officer, and Luna's mother was in charge of protecting Soleil and Sophia Goldfield, who is from a very wealthy family. They run the Goldfield Group, which is a large conglomerate banking, construction, investments, medical, pharmaceutical, you name it, the Goldfields have money in it. So um, in the backstory, the Goldfields adopt Luna and take her as not just, they don't just sponsor her, they actually adopt her when Luna's parents are killed trying to protect Sophia and Soleil from kidnappers. And there's a story that we don't really go into in part one, but we do go into in part two, where you find out that um, during the attack on them, Luna's father found out it was going to happen and rushed to try to stop it. He manages to get a call to Luna's mother, and as her parents are fighting with Sophia to protect the two girls, um, Luna's dad yells at her, "Run into the woods and hide till I come get you." Well, she grabs Soleil and they sprint off into the wood. 9-year-old girls go sprinting off into a reserve forest area and basically end up hiding from like these people trying to kidnap them, until Luna's grandfather, who happens to be a general in the military, comes and finds them. And that's how they find out Luna's parents died and that Soleil's mother is barely hanging on to life. And so it creates this life debt and this bond between the girls. And so at the beginning of this story, you meet Soleil. She's talking with her cousin about a set of investments. And then, like 2 days later, she goes and meets her cousin. Her cousin's in town for who works for the government. Luna works for the government, the National Security Investigation Agency, and they meet for an afternoon of mani-pedis and just girl bonding time, sister things. And that's when Luna discovers that Soleil has been poisoned, and then Soleil collapses at the shop. So, I am going to read, where does that start? Um, I'm going to start reading for you kind of there. Um, Let me find where that section starts. Luna Shield walked into the Pink Blossom Spa and looked around at the familiar marble floors and walls. She noted the staff were wearing more of a burgundy color uniform than the dark pink from her last visit. The Goldfield family, like many of the elites in the city, had visited the spa for decades. Miss Luna, welcome back. The hostess was an elderly woman who had known Luna's mother when she was Sophia's bodyguard. Miss Soleil is still in her pregnancy massage. Miss Rion revealed, "Is there time for me to go get some lunch?" Luna was starving. The speaker at the law enforcement conference had gone long, overlapping into the lunch break and going into Luna's afternoon off. Today's lunch special is shrimp and salmon with cucumber. I will have 2 plates brought in immediately. Then Miss Winnon smiled in a grandmotherly way. Miss Soleil may have already eaten. I'm old, I forget. She went out while Luna changed into a robe. 2 attendants returned with the food and began arranging the room for side-by-side mani-pedis. As she ate, Soleil's mind went over the case that was this morning's topic source. She had never realized time could be used as a murder weapon when combined with microdosing poisons that varied from plant derivatives to heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, selenium, and even copper or lead. It seemed anything could be used to kill another person. As Xiao Xiao took the plates, she offered, Miss Winone said that they are almost finished with your sister's massage and to offer you a facial while we wait. Not wanting the expensive treatment added to today's bill, Luna refused. No, thank you. I'll just make notes on this morning's seminar. She waved her phone. She wanted to take a nap, but as an investigating agent for the National Security Investigation Agency, she was used to staying awake for a day or more. They had been at the hospital late. Soleil's cousin Leo was in a car accident and being charged with driving under the influence of a narcotic. Luna still couldn't figure it out. Leo wouldn't drink alcohol after the accident that killed his roommates. Sighing, she looked over her notes on the case cited. A drug company had tried to hide that through a misplaced decimal place in a children's vitamin, they had turned the beneficial medicine into a low dose poison. Tens of thousands of children were sickened, and it was only discovered after 16 children died. She read over the symptoms again as Soleil came in. Hey, sis. Sorry it took so long. My legs were very swollen, and I keep falling asleep. Soleil apologized. Well, it wasn't like we were awake until 2 in the morning, Luna reminded. Kent texted me. Leo is awake and has no idea how he came to be illegally inebriated. Luna shook her head. I'm going to look at the evidence this evening. How was the seminar? Soleil asked. It was interesting, Luna said as she yawned. It was about. Nope, don't. Soleil held up her hands. I know what interesting means in Luna speak. My morning, noon, and night sickness doesn't want the details. Her tone made her foster sister laugh. Miss Winon smiled as Xiao Xiao giggled. May we get you ladies some beverages? Coffee, black, 5 sugars, Luna begged. Make it 2. And for you, Miss Soleil? There is an enamel tea box in my bag. And bring me some honey and hot water, please, Soleil asked sweetly. Todd ordered me a special tea for nausea 2 months ago. It's amazing. And before you ask, I showed the ingredients list to Kent and he said it's fine. As they soaked their hands and the manicurist worked on their feet, Xiao Xiao scolded Luna about not taking better care of herself now that she had moved to another province to work. Soleil chose a pale peach blossom color for her fingernails and toenails. Luna chose dark blue with sparkles in the polish for her feet and clear polish for her fingernails because the National Security Investigation Agency dress code stated no colored fingernails. While they chatted, the smell of Soleil's tea made Luna sneeze. After the 4th time, Luna scowled, asking, Does that tea contain gardenias or cannabis? No, those weren't on the ingredients list, Soleil answered. But Luna did not miss how her sister's bright and attentive eyes seemed to be glazing over. Oh no, Soleil groaned, then giggled. I need to go to the ladies' room again. She pointed at her foam-separated toes. I'm so sorry. The second manicurist fanned Soleil's feet. Xiao Xiao tutted, clicking her tongue. Go and take her. We can fix them if they get smudged. Luna held out her hand to help her stepsister stand. As her thumb ran over her sister's knuckles, she paused, pulling Soleil's hand closer. She stared at her naked nails and asked, But before she could ask, Soleil giggled. Luna, let go. I really have to go. Noelle is sleeping on my bladder again. As soon as Soleil left, Luna got up and pulled her phone from her locker. Xiao Xiao, how long has my sister had those ridges on her nails? The horizontal ones? She showed the family's longtime manicurist a picture on her phone. The older woman scowled. 2 months or so. We started filing them 5 or 6 weeks ago. Are you certain? Luna asked. Xiao Xiao pulled a book out of her pocket and showed Luna the notes from the weekly visits for the last several months. Xiao Xiao, could I? Miss Luna, come quickly. Miss Soleil has collapsed. The hostess rushed in. Luna and Xiao Xiao ran into the hall, following Miss Winon. Luna pushed the workers aside and pressed her fingertips to Soleil's throat. Soleil's skin was clammy and her breathing shallow. Miss Winon, call an ambulance. Xiao Xiao, I need our things, and put my sister's tea bags in a plastic bag to go with us to the hospital, Luna ordered in an iron tone. She lifted her eyelids, noting the bluish cornea. Miss Winon pressed her hands together. Luna, dearest moon, what did you figure out? She stared at the young woman who had figured out an employee was stealing her family's secret skin clay cream and replacing it with one containing toxic minerals. It had saved her business. Luna looked up at her with desperate eyes, wet with tears unfallen. I am certain my sister has been poisoned, she whispered. Several protested as Xiao Xiao looked horrified. Who would try to hurt the young lady? She is so kind. Luna pressed her lips together as she took the bags of their clothes and their purses. She said nothing because she was a special investigator and forensic pathologist. She swallowed her accusation. She needed to gather evidence, but Luna's shield was certain her brother-in-law had tried to murder his wife and unborn daughter. So yeah, that's the that's part of chapter 1. So yes, all the drama right off. Hold on. 12, 22,000 words. We are definitely getting stuff done, and the 7-day book challenge was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Be blessed and have a very lovely day.